Alrighty, this is Javin with Omni-Well, and I'm gonna try some React content and see how it goes. Founder of Omni-Well. Oh yeah, we're gonna be reacting to BaldOmniMan. I think this guy's a direct competitor, but check out the feed on the right. What about the whole Drake situation? Maybe it's calmed down a bit. Alright, so first off, I need Kimbo Slice. If you have Kimbo Slice back in the day of Backstreet Brawls or whatever. That's let me see. Kimbo Slice. Backstreet Brawls. Oh my, dude, you need to put this in your intro. Put this in your intro, BaldOmniMan. Oh shit! Oh my god. Alright, so I didn't like your intro because you didn't have Kimbo Slice, the Ultimate Street Fight highlights in there. Like this week. Yeah, two bulls. Yeah, you could easily put Kimbo here. That's what we need. Sort of the 2016 mix. Hip Hop TXL. Alright.
Hype.
Alright. Alright. Need a hug. Do you lean back into your hubs? Your hugs? A lean back hug. That's
one of the most powerful emotions. And
oh, sweet baby Jesus. The leopard print pants, the tats. BaldOmniMan is going to be putting in some work.
That adrenaline that wells up in your spirit makes even the most Herculean challenges feel like a cakewalk. And so I hope that intro fired you up and gave you some motivation to have a good day today. Drop me a like and a subscribe if you're ready to get started. I want to start.
This physique. Let's go back.
5 or more.
All right, BaldOmniMan. It's gonna be a long review. I'm sorry, buddy.
Over some recent PRs that I've hit.
Let me see.
To have a good day today. Drop a cakewalk. And so
I have the same thing with my left chest. I always try to fill in that spot right there. Oh my goodness. I couldn't do it. The only way was by getting less fat, so you have like less internal fat for it to close up. But if you get like that, I forgot the name of the fat.
I hope that intro.
But 10 out of 10 pretty much for the most part. If you just look around, like I'm just rolling around
and gave you some motivation to have.
Now the traps. That's
cakewalk
right there. Don't respect the traps.
So I hope that intro fired you up.
The pose, yeah, there we go. Damn.
Motivation to have a good day.
All right.
We're a little.
Oh shit! Got the 135 dips. Not playing. We're doing 90-pound dips for 10, but I wasn't able to stick through it.
Jumpy, but I'm gonna blame that on the handle slipping around in my hands. I just couldn't get a good grip. But
you gotta squeeze, dude. You have to torque your back into your grip.
I have some new dip handles that are knurled coming in the mail that'll hopefully be here in time for me to come back for blood.
Nah. Fuck that knurled. You don't need that, bub. You just gotta squeeze, dog, like you're choking somebody. You gotta go to jiu-jitsu.
For 5 or more reps. Behind the neck.
Now this is the most impressive thing. Well, second, behind the neck press is my favorite lift of all time. But once you start doing free barbell, like yeah, I get the Smith machine, it's chill, but the free barbell, like once you learn how to like you brace your serratus into it, oh my god, you feel like a freaking Hulk. And it's like that. No other feeling like free barbell behind the neck press. Because like when you do the seated Smith machine, you don't have to activate the serratus and obliques as much, so it doesn't have that feeling. But this is like, this is good. It's for better isolation and all that.
Press has been a very exciting lift for me to do because honestly, full disclosure, I sucked at it at first. I was using 95 pounds, which is a quarter.
Jesus Christ. Now, I won't lift for a year and I can still do more than that, but hey, you do some free barbell with this, that'll get your dip grip up too.
Per side. But I hit a plate and a quarter per side for 7 reps, which is huge this week, and it's been working fantastically. On my road to a 3-plate overhead press.
Jesus Christ, dude. 3-plate overhead press. What are you trying to prove, dude? What? I just shoulder press what you squat. Alright. Bald Omni-Man, you're a specimen. You're going for that 3-plate. I know 275 shoulder press is like pretty much like a 365 bench. Every 10 pounds after that is kind of, you got to use every muscle fiber in your body, and it gets in some natty or not territory around there. Like,
I'm very happy to say that I hit 255 pounds.
now, here, let me look at this. Let me see this Bald Omni-Man. Let me see this form here.
I'm very happy.
Okay. Why are you pausing though, man? Like, you're smart. You're wearing the long top.
On my road to a
Let me see.
3-plate overhead press.
I don't think you're pulling the bar apart. Like I've done 245, but I was 16. I didn't really specify a shoulder press, but you gotta torque it. Like you gotta act like you're bending the bar, but like your grip seems more like you're just like, you gotta be like squeezing it in so you can really hunker it and literally engage like every fiber. It's still impressive nonetheless, but if you're trying to like get to 315, like you have to do like pin racks or descents, you know, like have those pins higher and just descend with like 285 and just bend it as hard as you possibly can. That'll get you there.
I'm very happy to say that I hit 255 pounds after not sleeping the entire night beforehand, fixing some technical errors for the Berserk Method 2025. So I know that this cycle,
Berserk Method.
Last but not least, curl
cycle.
I actually have curled 135 pounds a plate per side many times, but this is the smoothest that I've gotten this amount of reps. Again, even though that I've done.
All right. I know when I was repping that, I remember when I was doing 80-pound dumbbells, I was like, should I go up to 100s? I had a whole gallon of ice cream and a 2-liter of Sprite the night before, and that was my ultimate strength. So if you want to get like where you just feel insanely strong, have a whole gallon of ice cream the night before, and I swear you'll gain so much strength on your biceps and the intracellular fluid, you won't feel like you're gonna tear it. Like
up to 8 reps. This is the smoothest, easiest 7 that I've got, which was huge for me. Little icebreaker aside with the PRs and the hype intro, I want to talk about.
But you know, my advice is kind of unsolicited. I understand that, and I haven't really filmed my all-time PRs, but I have done it for 12, 13 years. The biggest issue personally was just not staying consistent. I'll do it for like 6 to 8 months, and then I'll take like a 4 to 5 month break.
A little bit about my personal upper body training, just to give you a little bit of framework to use in your training. Overall, I'm a big proponent of exercise synergy. In other words, everything in your program.
Yeah, well, why are you sharing the track names, dude? Do people really want to? Alright. Let me see this.
And just to give you a little bit of framework to use in
The Great Sea. The Laws of Wind Waker.
your training.
I don't know.
Overall,
Buddy.
I'm a big proponent of exercise synergy. In other words, everything in your program should build upon everything else. So I train shoulder presses, incline presses, decline presses, and flat presses pretty evenly, because getting stronger at all of them is going to lead to better overall development for me. And then for the people that I coach as well, I've observed something similar. But it also eliminates weak points on each of those movement patterns as well. So if you don't have a shoulder press, you're going to have relatively weak shoulders, which can hurt horizontal pressing strength. And then similarly, if you're weak at dips, your triceps are going to be relatively behind the curve as well, and that'll have lasting effects on all of your other presses. The examples can go on, but ultimately, you don't want to be weak at any of these movement patterns.
Oh.
Started off this particular workout with some single
Alright.
press, which I love just because it aligns with the shoulders better, and it suits me well. This is the earliest in my training cycle, so week 2 that I'm using for me.
Let's see what we
The
got
form
here.
is easy to repeat. Way to think about some of your short and medium term goals. If you've already
Man, I do not like this gym. And you know, if I were a coach, I feel like the best secondary exercise to getting a strong overhead press is either hip thrust or back squat. Now, once you start squatting above a certain weight, you gotta act like you're shoulder pressing it near like the last half of coming up. You gotta like literally, launch it up. I used to almost feel like I was gonna tear my rotator cuff. I'd be so tight.
say hit 315 for 2 reps and your goal is to hit
What is?
5, just think about it like I'm already loading.
You got some narrow grip.
315 on the
Probably
goal.
more mobile
All
than
I
me
gotta
though.
do is
So,
add 3 more reps, and I
I'm
have
on
a year
around.
to do that. Come on, man.
Dude, I got
Did mention that
beef
I wanted to
rigatoni
change
here,
the flow of
man.
my
Come
mind behind
on.
the neck pressed a little bit. Just use more range of motion and pause at the bottom. Not that I felt a plateau with the particular technique that I was using, but just because I would rather further separate this away from my regular seated overhead press in terms of load. And then obviously when I build this back up to the same numbers that I was at before, my shoulders are going to be a lot stronger for that. These felt really good. The only thing that I would want to change form-wise for myself is to just keep my arms more perpendicular. I think that's the mathematical term. More in line with my body. They're
Dude, I'm telling you, get your grip out here. When you grip it, act like you're trying to pull the bar out and then torque it in, dude. Like you're trying to pull the bar apart while pulling it in. So you're trying to break it in the middle and twist it in. And then you drive with those legs like your life depend on it.
flaring back a little bit, which didn't feel bad, but I do know that's a deficit of flexibility on my part. So it's just something to work on. Like I said, it didn't feel bad though. Fellas, what do I always say? Every piece of proverbial chocolate needs its proverbial peanut butter, and every horizontal.
Whoa.
Road, therefore needs a ability on my part. So it's just something to work on. Like I said, it didn't feel bad though. Fellas, what do I always say? Every piece of proverbial chocolate needs its proverbial peanut butter, and every horizontal road, therefore needs a vertical pull. And listen,
You must be coaching a lot of fat people, my guy.
I love weighted pull-ups, but here's the problem. I tweaked my lat a little bit, so I wasn't able to do them for a little while.
Oh,
but it's feeling pretty
fuck.
good recently,
What the
so
fuck was that, dude? That's the most impressive shit I've seen all video. You don't even fucking... What?
And listen, I love weighted pull-ups, but here's the problem. I tweaked my lat.
Yeah, I just tweaked my lat a little bit, so I'm just doing one-handed pull-ups or one-handed chin-ups. Like, what? Alright.
A little bit, so I wasn't able to do them for a little while, but I was feeling pretty good recently, so I tested out my strength by just doing a one-arm chin-up. It felt a little shaky, but it
Man, that's not a good... That's such a tease of a bicep curl, you know? I know the outer part, but getting the whole meat.
Was okay. Definitely don't imitate that for you fellas watching at home. Don't go from regression to, let me test this by doing a one-arm chin-up. Anyway, this pressing workout gets finished up by just hitting up some arms. I really like doing my...
Let's see this. I gotta hurry up. This would be like a
This was a good
2-hour video on just Bald Omni-Man. Be Omni-Well.
Little golden tidbit for the fellas at home: if you don't have access to an Omni bar or a Swiss bar, if you have one of those old school tricep bars with a neutral grip, do that, because the neutral grip is just going to naturally promote keeping your elbows in.
Oh my god, dude. I can see the brain fissure. You're gonna have like brain fatigue after that. Look at this face right here.
With a neutral grip, do that, because...
Oh my god. Bald Omni-Man. I know you're tired as hell after that.
Neutral grip is just going to naturally promote keeping your elbows in more, which is going to recruit your triceps a little bit better. Last but certainly not least on this session is a banger exercise that I got from good friend Sam. He wrote an overhead press program for me and threw these bad boys in.
Yeah. Resting on the pad.
It is a chest supported Y raise, superset, or rather drop set it with a chest supported T raise. This crushes my rear inside delts. I felt like Final Form freeze after I did this, dude. A lot of folks will have chest or sternum pain just because you're pressing into the bench with your chest. Use those chest muscles that you built up.
Yeah, you had to zoom in. I already noticed right off the get-go.
Puff them up.
Puff them up
A little bit, so there's cushioning you between your sternum, the bench, and then...
I'm trying to choke myself when I'm at the gym, brother. I don't know about you.
Obviously the pecs, the buffer. Also brace your core a little bit, so you don't want to be totally relaxed on this thing. Bada bing, bada boom. That is my first training session of the week, focused on vertical pressing with some pulling and then some arms. My next upper body session is going to focus on some decline pressing.
Nah, I already seen that.
I like to splitting them up, and also ring push-ups. I really like this just because
sweet baby Jesus. That intracranial blood pressure, holy fuck, we gotta
figure it out still is some low ring push-ups. I really like this just because...
Damn. You know what, you're redder than.
Because rings allow you to get a squeeze at the top, which for me, if I'm able to squeeze...
Well, that's like a chest press and a chest fly in one. You're onto something. And it's like a decline and an incline if you push yourself back. That's like an all-in-one chest movement.
Into the muscle, I'm very easily able to determine what particular muscle is getting worked.
Dang. This might be the most impressive lift I've seen form technique-wise in all of... Like, I don't want to give it that. It's like it's top 5. Now, like, I've seen, like, you know, there's some impressive lifts, drop sets, and all that. But when it comes to form function, this might be number 1, Bald Omni-Man.
Over another. So if I'm trying to work my upper pecs and I can feel my upper pecs squeezing hard as hell, I know that I'm working them pretty well.
God, you're detracting the scapula too in that thing. Look at this finish.
Hard as hell. I know that I'm working them pretty well.
Jeez, I can't even pause right. You should have kept more video on this, man. This is a flex.
I know that I'm working them pretty well.
Yeah, you're cutting too fast. I don't want to see curls. I've seen curls.
Presses, which is basically the same movement pattern, just with external load. And I got up to between my first shoulder pressing session and then this dip session. Besides, obviously, that we're...
I always felt weird, you know, bracing with the bar like that, but you gotta do what you gotta do to get some leg drive.
Just training different primary pressing lifts and obviously some different pulls, is that I tend to use my heavier arm exercises on this dip day. That idea plays into a philosophy that I have, that we should also be pacing ourselves during our training week. So if you go heavy on something...
These, I would try them chest supported double arm row, and like it's just a crappier one arm row. Now barbell row, you get some straps. Ooh.
Something earlier in the week. There's no reason to go heavy on that again later in the week. So I like to just hedge it by saying, look, I'm going to do
What? Bald Omni-Man. I did not see that tattoo earlier. You got the Vegeta Majin version.
this here, and that here, just to ensure that I have even pacing throughout. It's just something to think about. Cool little tidbit for y'all for your chest supported rows or any rowing exercise. Something that I've been employing lately is just holding that squeeze at the top for a second. Typically,
I hate holding the squeeze. Oh, the CNS fatigue. I know the Renaissance periodization guy would be all like, it's all about the stretch. It's all about the stretch. Oh, yeah. Try that. Try doing extreme stretching on the muscle in between sets. So like when you're taking your break, stretch it as hard as you possibly can. And the next set, it'll just pump up that much more. I've never really seen anyone push that protocol. I read it on T Nation a while ago. It's like with the birds and the wings or whatever. I was like, oh, I'm gonna stretch like crazy in between sets, and I actually got some of the most growth ever. It didn't really help with strength, but when it came to muscle growth, that was crazy.
I wouldn't advise something like that. But if you either A, have trouble connecting with your back muscles, or B, you're like me, you're advanced and you just want to get a little bit more out of them, I do find that just trashes my upper back really bad. Something nice. So try that out. Last but certainly not least, I elected to do some pump work on some pec flies today.
Dude, is this all like... I was like, is this like one workout? Like, geez Louise. Oh yeah, let's see this. Got a Patreon. Let me see this. I'm about to have code Omni. What the hell is this? The Omni bar. Yeah. Yeah. Bells of Steel. This. You got your fitness brand. Ooh. Ooh, dude. What? $45? I think it's because they're so short. That's what it's like you're paying $90 for a full pair of shorts. You know, I always assume less material, cheaper cost, but let's see what my favorite thing is from the brand. I think the tiger print. Ooh. Dude, if you got these in red and black, oh man, I might have to buy a pair. You get these in red and black. See what we got here. Man, if I could fit a medium again. Ooh. And these seem ooh, wait, what? You got black marble? What wait, what is this comment? Neither what I've been looking for, but it's just like funny, like the one review, not like no knock on that. It's just, these are what I've been looking for. Some guy's been on the internet just I wish I knew how long. He ended up ordering a backup pair just in case. That is important, everybody. Like my one or two viewers. You always want to order a backup pair if something's really nice. They get rid of it. The quality goes down. It's like 2020. Me being older, everything just kind of, I was like, man, why is Nike shorts turning see-through? Are they airy? I'm like, what? But I'll give you that sick pattern. But if you had these like in a red, ooh, these look just like my Nike shorts that I had. I can't make too much of dirty jokes, but yeah, these would be the ones I'd want. All right, boost camp. No. Oh shit. Don't request access. You know, I assume anybody like that reads something. Like I'm a manager at work. Oh. Nah, was it? Alright, what we got here?
Now, hear me. I really liked my form on this. It felt really good.
Dude, it would have been so like just like badass of you to start off this video with back squat. Like you would have had like plus 10 respect from me. The exact training I do to get a huge upper body, you just start squatting. Like I'd be like, oh man, this guy's a G.
275 for 5 ain't my best, but it certainly ain't my worst. And considering the technique that I used, I'm gonna say that I have equal performance while being neurally inefficient at this. So I'm throwing this in on a linear periodization cycle.
Whoa, 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 whoa. You know what I hate? These fitness people never talking about neural fatigue. Oh, you just keep training full blast. The amount of rarity of your CNS being actually depleted is so rare. No, you feel like a sack of potatoes. You can't even put a thought. Let me see. I was hearing something good there. Let me see.
Barbell pressing that I've done in a long time, albeit with a cambered bar. And I really liked my form on this. It felt really good. 275 for 5 ain't my best, but it certainly ain't my worst. And considering the technique that I used, I'm gonna say that I have equal performance while being neurally inefficient at this. So I'm throwing this in on a linear periodization cycle, which is a gigabrain way of saying I'm going to start light and then end heavy. Just did this today with a heavier set just to gauge where I'm at so that I could then plan out the rest of my training.
Oh, there we go. He went giga brain on us.
As you can see, I'm hitting up some more chest supported rows, and you can also notice that I do similar exercises in similar slots on all 3 training sessions. I really add in that variety, 1 for novelty, 2 for fun, and then 3 to work the muscles a little bit different each time. Another thing I keep in mind on this last training session is overall, I try to look at it as a light day. Now, I'm not saying go easy. I'm just saying relative to an estimated 1 rep max, because you're never going to do like a 1 rep max lateral raise or anything like that. Relative to the other 2 days, you're going in a higher.
You know, I noticed there's a girl in the background, but this gym looks so nice from these doors. But then you go like here, and then you look at the roof. Yeah, the roof and the doors do not match. Like
that. Relative to the
if I see doors like this, I'm not with these nice lights.
other 2 days, you're going in a higher rep range just because you've already gone heavy. You've done a medium workout. Now you're going to go lighter and do more reps. I also like to think about finesse and rep quality, really that being the primary driver of progress on this last day. Not to say that I'm Jimmy Bookworm or anything like that, but for instance, I've done up to 275, like 2 plates and a quarter on Smith JM presses, using totally different technique. Here I elect to aim higher up towards my eyeballs as opposed to like my chin or collarbone. And overall it leads to less load on the bar, but again, I'm putting a higher premium on the technique, so I'm trying to keep the elbows forward as much as possible.
Dude, you trained your triceps already on that shoulder press.
And I'm going really slow, trying to keep tension throughout the.
But I like the suicide grip.
Paradoxically, sometimes
it actually does
doing less.
Uses the outer head more.
Total reps when you're slowing things down that much, but ultimately it's still a relatively low intensity, just because if I did a normal cadence I'm probably gonna do like 20 reps or something. Another thing that I kind of keep as like a free slot, so to speak, on this day is I keep my tricep work open for interpretation. Just on this last day, I've already had 2 structured days of tricep work, a seated curl.
What? Huh.
Cool product that you can do a whole lot with. We do bench press, rows, curls, triceps. You can use it as a cable attachment. It's extremely versatile. So again, I do recommend it. Thanks again, and I hope you have a great day. Talk to you later.
I like the outro, but you know, you did like one thing for abs.
Volume is my triceps.
You know, that
On top
ab
of
coaster is always like
it's
a
not for
weird
most
one.
people, it's just for me in particular and how I'm customizing my program. And by the way, I don't usually train my abs with my upper body anymore. I usually do it with lower body, but I just felt like doing it today because
That's a good call. Doing abs after upper body, because like usually when you do abs, you have to like use your upper body a bit. So it's like you're trying to do ab wheel and you trade shoulders. Like, oh, that ain't it.
skipped the last lower body workout.
All right, Bald Omni-Man here. Go check out his channel.
My name is BaldOmniMan, and I want to say from the
Name is Coach Butler, not Bald Omni. Okay, Coach Butler. All right. I like this disclaimer. I'm not a medical professional. You gotta do the old Hodge Twins outro. But dang. These are some good numbers, my guy. All right, this is jabbing with Omni-Well with my first React video. I may do more here to come. I'm just testing the waters, see what I feel like doing for the most part. I'm pretty much just doing blog posts for a supplement company. So, let's see, I should have a short in here. That's got all the blogs. They got some good. Oh, we found Coach Butler's cousin over here. 17 questions that changed my life. I'm like, no, thanks. I'm not interested. But yeah, go support Omni-Well today. We're launching with just our Omni Night formula. We're going to be having more coming here soon. Please like or comment. You don't need to subscribe. Just give me some positive reaffirmation. Reaffirm. Alrighty, signing out.